No, make sure the first thing you say
We'll
is
just record this right now. Go ahead, tell
high
me.
school parents. Otherwise, they might think they have the wrong video and not listen to you.
Hey y'all, volume parents.
You can just run it.
Okay, alright, sounds good. Hey, high school parents. I'm filling in for Kirk Jones today because we did what's called Teach Down this week, which means Kirk went down to the junior high to speak to the future incoming 8th graders in into high school ministry, and Kristen went down to 5th and 6th grade because we will be moving 5th and 6th grade into junior. Well, we're moving the 6th graders into junior high coming up very soon. So I got to go up to high school and teach in place of Kirk. And this week we continued in 1 Peter. I don't know where you guys are in terms of us and with the whole 1 Peter and main church thing. I know we've had Easter and all that stuff. And I've been out of high school for a little while on Sundays, so I don't know exactly where we line up. But we were in 1 Peter chapter 4, and then we went from verses 7 to, I think, about, and forgive me, I'm blanking here, but I want to say 10 or 11, somewhere in there. And really the highlight this week was the return of Jesus, the fact that Jesus could come back at any time for his church. That at any moment, life is fleeting sometimes. At any moment, Jesus could call us home. And we notice in Peter, and we notice in John, and we notice in the early church that they really believed that, and they really lived that. And that expectation of at any moment things could change, at any moment Jesus could come back, it really changed the way they lived their lives and what was important to them. And so I told a little story about a lighthouse, and basically it was this story about, these people built this lighthouse at one point, and they built it with the intentionality of helping ships that would get wrecked along the shore, but then eventually they got so comfortable in the lighthouse, they started adding floors and kitchens and all this stuff, and they got so comfortable in the lighthouse that whenever a ship would come by and get crashed along the sea, they no longer wanted to leave the lighthouse, and they no longer wanted to bring the dirty sailors into the lighthouse because it would ruin this magnificent lighthouse that they'd built. And just that idea of sometimes we get comfortable in church, and sometimes we don't want to get our hands dirty, and we don't want to take steps of faith, and it can be easy just to kind of get into the routine of doing things. And the question is, have we fallen victim to that? And I know I do all the time. So just challenge them with that a little bit. Again, a lot about just that idea of Jesus is always around. He's always present. We talked about love, and that love gives and love shares, and that we should be the most loving people in the world. And also a little bit, just a side note about gifting. And I think sometimes we think that only the pastor has gifts that can serve the church, or only the worship leader has gifts that can serve the church. And that's not true at all. All our gifts are important, and God has made us uniquely with talents and abilities, and we want to use those as best as we can to serve in whatever way God allows us to. So that's about it. Hope you guys have a great week. See you next Sunday.